Hello everybody, Rox here. Thanks for tuning into the channel. Today we have something pretty cool for you. It is the B&T APC9K, manufactured by Aero Arms. Now, a little bit of backstory on this gun. This gun is a 9mm carbine. In real life, I believe the United States Army uses it in some of their personal defense applications. Not very common. It's not really something you'd see normally on the airsoft field. This particular one is manufactured by Aero Arms. In North America, you probably know them as Aries. Here in Canada, the B&T family of guns, the APC guns, are pretty popular. The 5.56 one in particular is kind of known as one of the better 5.56 guns we're allowed to get here, and I know a few people that have it. It's very well built, and having had a little bit of experience holding and manipulating the real one, I can tell you that this replica here feels quite nice. It feels like the attention to detail is very high. It does have all of your correct markings, everything that you would want in terms of a real gun if you're going for realism. Nothing feels creaky or like wobbly like you might expect from an airsoft gun. Everything feels solidly in place. You have your bolt release here, solid, got a nice little snap to it. The grip is it feels very nice in your hands. The pins feel solid. All in all, everything feels like it's well built. It feels like they took the name of a high quality gun and they applied quality to it. One of the things that doesn't feel the best is the flip up sights. I noticed right away that they feel a little weak, not as good as maybe say your PTS like M-Bus sights, but it's kind of a small gripe. The other thing that I've noticed a lot of after holding this thing for a little while is that the rubber here is very solid. It's very well built. There's other accents on the gun that have the same rubber accenting, and it's definitely something to note. When you get the gun inside the box, you're going to get 3 magazines. You're going to get the small one, you're going to get medium one, you're going to get a large one. It's a little bit of a strange thing that you're getting 3 magazines. Most airsoft guns come with 1. They're all mid-caps, which is nice, but each one of them is a different size. So I believe your small one is 50 rounds, your medium one is 80 rounds, and your large one is 110 rounds. While I'd like having the mid-caps better than having high caps, I would have preferred if they were all the same and they just offered different sizes. Having 3 different ones makes your finding pouches and stuff a little more difficult, because I'm assuming you're not going to use all these when you're playing a game with them. You're going to find the size you like and you're going to stick with it. That being said, the fact that the magazines do come in 3 different sizes means for different games, like if you're doing a milsim and you want something a little more realistic, or if you're doing something where you don't care, you just want like as many as you can pick which one you want, which I do like. The other thing to note, similar to what I said before about the rubber, is that all of the magazines come with a thick rubber bottom. And now this is, it's not like APS polymer, it's definitely a rubber coating. And so if you're here, like for example, in my field here, there's concrete on the ground, you're gonna drop these magazines and you're not gonna be afraid of them breaking. So I know on some of my other expensive SMG magazines, the last thing I want to do is drop them, especially GBBRs, anything like that. It's definitely not the best idea to be throwing these things around. That being said, you can get boxes of magazines. So these ones here, you get 5 of the mid-sized ones, so the 80 rounders, and these was 75 Canadian, which is not terrible. You're looking, that's around 60 USD for 5 magazines. Very reasonable. I'm very happy to see that it's not just another SMG with like crazy over-the-top expensive magazines. I don't feel bad about purchasing this should I need more. Sticking with the topic of magazines, I found that the small ones feel good. Medium ones feel good. But the large ones, when you put them in, they kind of stick. And to remove them, they don't drop out. You kind of have to yank on them. So I'm not the most impressed with that, but do note that they still work and they still feed. Next thing I want to talk about is the hop-up unit. The hop-up unit itself is proprietary, but it is a rotary style hop-up unit, better than the original side dial ones. This is your rotary top-down pressure, and it's very good. I found I had no problem hopping what I wanted it to. I use this gun in CQB, but I was able to hop 3s with it, no problem. It had no trouble with something like 0.25s. Switch, it's good. You have safe, semi, full rotations. Unlike other European guns, like think of the G36 family, where you're just gonna have little clicks. MP5, same thing. This is a full 90-degree rotation. Not as nice as, say, a 45-degree rotation. Again, like on some of those other guns. Internally, this gun uses Ares EFCS system. And if you've ever used any other Ares or Aero Arms guns before, you will know that it is the gearbox is proprietary to an extent. It uses a lot of similar components, but it has a micro switch in there that is one of Ares specific units. They don't put it in. You're not gonna find any other guns. And while it does work, I have had an Ares gun in the past that did not work the best, and the EFCS system died fairly quickly. I know they have done some improvements, but it's something worth noting that you are getting a gun like that when you buy this, and it is fairly expensive. Yeah, you're around 500 Canadian, which is a lot for some guns that you have to be worried about potentially maybe it burning out. And if that is the case, you can't just put in anything else. You do have to put in an Ares gearbox back into this. The only other thing that I would think of doing is replacing the system with an HPA system. I know people have done that. And that's going to get away from that proprietary system. That being said, when it does work, I have had no issues with this unit in particular. This is my friend's. He's let me borrow it for a few times. The gun shoots great. The trigger's like really quite, I don't know how to describe it. It's short. It's almost like a micro switch, and you don't have to worry about it. It doesn't feel mushy. It doesn't feel bad like an example an older Airsoft gun does. Next thing I would like to talk about is going to be the battery space. Like many small SMGs, you are going to run into the issue of small batteries are better. It takes stick-type batteries, the small ones, like you can think of the Vulcan 1000 milliamp ones. Those are going to be your best bet. Anything longer is not going to fit. You're going to have trouble getting everything in on the wires. It does come with a mini Tamiya, unfortunately, so it was converted to Dean's. And accessing the battery, you have to punch out this bolt here and then remove the whole stock assembly. It's not the most intuitive, but compared to some, like thinking of the Scorpion Evo, it really isn't that bad. But again, yes, just watch out. You are going to have to get a small battery because anything else will not fit. It also has a fairly nice quick change spring system, which did unfortunately come up with some problems. My friend put in a smaller spring right off the bat, and on his first game he found that the quick change spring system, the screw actually worked its way out after he put it back in, and it shot the spring out of the back and it just like died and lost compression. When they put it all back together, unfortunately something had failed and the gun had no more compression and it had to be sent back to the place that it was purchased from for an RMA. And well, shout out to Andy's Airsoft, they're a great store, and they did get it fixed right away. It's still something to note that the gun was brand new and it did have a failure. So I don't know if that's an issue with QC or whatever, but be aware. Another thing that I would like to make a note of is that the barrel is not threaded. So if you're interested in putting on a tracer unit or a suppressor, customize it, do whatever, make it look cool, you can't do that. The only thing you can do, however, is put on your MP5 style 3-lug European suppressor mount. Yes, which is true. I've read online that you can put on real suppressors that fit on MP5. It's compatible with the real thing. Won't do anything because it's an airsoft gun, but if you have one, you know, it might look cool. Or any of the MP5 tracers, that'll work. I suspect you could get this barrel rethreaded. I am not a machinist, but I know people who are, and there is enough material I think here that'll work with it. So you can get it threaded for 14mm negative, but that's something you gotta do, and machining is expensive. Internally, the gun's inner barrel is very short. My teching experience is not the greatest, but I know that the cylinder in here it's over volumed for the length of the barrel, so you will probably struggle a bit at range. You're gonna get some stuff going all over the place. But I've used this thing in CQB a little bit. My friends use it in CQB. I've had no issues like in the field here behind me. It's gonna laser people. You can do your standard rubber changes or higher quality inner barrels, but I honestly don't think you'll need it. Get this thing to a lower FPS. Like this thing is shooting right now just over 300, I think around 330, and it does its job. All in all, I think that the AirArms/Area/B&T APC9 is a cool gun. If you like unique SMGs, you're gonna like this gun, especially if you like the real thing. It's a very nice, accurate representation of what the real one looks like, how the real one feels, all of that good stuff. However, if you're looking for like your first airsoft gun, I don't think I'd get this. I think I would say go with like an MP5. It's gonna be a little easier to work with. You're gonna know what's going on a little better with it. But if you're a fan of the APC9 as a platform, or you like it from Call of Duty, it was called the ISO in Call of Duty. If you like that, I think it's a cool gun and it's worth checking out. So I hope you enjoyed this quick little review. Again, my name is Rox, and I hope you have a good day. I'll see you next time.